His Holiness Shree Sachidananda Bharati Swamiji, my esteemed colleague and brother, Justice Nagaresh, Mr. Uday Holla, the former Advocate General, and Mr. Asif Ali, and several distinguished dignitaries on the dais and of the dais. My salutations and Yellarigu Namaskara. Dear all, I was invited by His Holiness the Pontiff of the Mutt to deliver the inaugural speech on the occasion of commemorating 50 years of journey of the Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala Judgement in the annals of Indian legal and constitutional history. I was slightly reluctant, not that I do not want to come to Kasaragod, which is otherwise known as Sapta Sangama, a place where 7 languages flourish, live, float, and enjoy with the beauty of expression in each one of the languages. But the thing is, it's an arduous task to take up a momentous judgment as Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala and keep the audience engaged at least for a while of 20 minutes. To cover the journey in 20 minutes of Keshavananda Bharati is a Herculean task. Who are into the thick of practice, they will understand. I say Namaste, thank you everyone, and go. I will not be doing the right thing to the responsibility I have accepted on this occasion. And when I accepted the invitation, I thought I am going to see completely new faces with little or no acquaintance. But the warmth with which the Pontiff has received me, and which each one of you extended their warm invitation on my coming to the Mutt, now makes me feel I am not at all in a strange place or people who I do not know at all. The inaugural speech, I am conscious, is not only for the day. The ambition of present Pontiff, His Holiness Sri Sachidananda Bharati Swamiji, is to keep the program alive. Thought, the idea should be circulating in the society. With this in mind, if at all I go extempore, it's very likely that I may shoot into the time of my brother Nagaresh, or the other programs will get delayed, or the structured approach which is needed in a basic structure of our constitution may also get slightly diluted or misquoted or whatever it is you call it. The responsibility with which I have to address the gathering is very much present in my mind. The choicest things I have seen in the journey of Keshavananda Bharati, I would be in a very succinct way sharing my views and ideas with the enthusiastic elderly audience in the first 3/4 of the auditorium, young, energetic and ambitious budding lawyers, students sitting in the last 1/4 of this auditorium. I may compartmentalize my speech into two aspects. One, the simple and straight introduction about the Mutt. Two, the journey of Keshavananda Bharati in the precedents of all courts, including the Supreme Court. And also, is there any other basic foundation which we have as a culture of India? We call it Indian culture. We have inherited from our forefathers. Is there anything in our individual capacity that each one of us can do to continue to keep that inherited basic capacity or basic structure, develop individually, develop the society and also develop the country? Now coming back to the popularly known as Edneer Mutt in Kerala and Karnataka, and being part of a year-long celebration of 50 years of Keshavananda Bharati Judgement. I consider it a distinct privilege and an esteemed honor to be with this distinguished gathering. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity extended to me to deliver the inaugural address for today's proceedings and the year-long academic celebrations. Edneer's Mutt history dates back to centuries and stands as a testament to the resilience of our cultural and spiritual roots. To remind myself and the audience, I delve into the origin of the Edneer Mutt and with reverence note that the Mutt was established by His Holiness Shree Totakacharya, one of the 4 original disciples of Adi Shankaracharya, the seer who found the non-dualistic philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, a path of spiritual discipline in which there is no duality between the creator and the created universe. The legacy of Edneer Mutt is interwoven with the values of knowledge, spirituality and the enlightenment. I have had the opportunity and honor of acquainting myself with and about His Holiness Swami Keshavananda Bharati and the Mutt during my tenure as a judge and the Chief Justice of High Court of Kerala. We all know the circumstances in which the society grappled to stand on its feet between 20 and 22. Travel was restricted, interaction was restricted. Though there were a few informal invitations to this place, I couldn't make it. I slightly feel sad and I feel that I missed a good opportunity to meet a great pontiff and a spiritual leader. My knowledge of him may not be complete or comprehensive. Your long association with the Mutt, all of you have mirror reflections of Swamiji, and the occasion is to celebrate the journey of Keshavananda Bharati Judgement. Therefore, by paying my respectful pranams to His Holiness Keshavananda Bharati, I go to the next stage of my speech. Constitutional principle, which has been considered as an axiom on the constitutional principles. The Swamiji, an expert in the music, I am told he is versatile in several arts, but I prefer to say only music, and had profound involvement in Yakshagana and he has an extended presence in the precedents of the Supreme Court. Thus, he is continuing to live in the history and memory of our nation. Any amount of narrative is like holding candles for the illustrious characters such as Shree Swami Keshavananda Bharati, late Sri Nani Palkevala, and all the learned judges on the 13-judge bench of the Supreme Court of India who are part of the fundamental rights case. The fundamental rights case has its own place in the history of democratic and republic India. Nation always acknowledges it. I am delivering the inaugural speech for a year-long celebration of 50 years of the journey of fundamental rights case. The inaugural speech, like a puzzle or a movie teaser. Puzzle is for elders sitting in the first 3/4. Movie teaser is for the youngsters who are sitting in the last 1/4 of the auditorium. It should be like a movie teaser so that the program intended for a year continues to engage the interest of all like-minded people. The other speakers on this occasion enjoy the rich experience, and I prefer not to get into the topics they will discuss during the program. I have first-hand knowledge and also experience of my brother Justice Nagaresh. Any role he accepts, he will satisfactorily discharge it. He has down the road address. I know how he would be taking up a few of the shades of Keshavananda Bharati Judgement. Therefore, I am not touching them also. When I was invited to deliver the inaugural speech, one of my personal experiences about Keshavananda Bharati versus state of Kerala has come to my mind. This is more to the youngsters who are intently listening to this speech. I relocated my practice from Mufsil Bar in Madanpalli to High Court of Hyderabad, and having started the practice in High Court, I thought the best way to earn the confidence of my senior is to see that whenever he is watching me read Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. My senior, being a smart man, he allowed me to dabble with the book for about 1 month. He never interrupted me. He never discouraged me. He is a man with enormous pragmatic approach in profession. After 1 month, he asked me, yes, how many pages could you read? Sir, still I am taking notes of the majority view, sir. Then he asked me to get into the court. I have found a very good alibi not to get into the court and told him, sir, I will get into court after I finish reading Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. All of you know, printed matter, nearly 700 pages. If I had set that task for myself, it would have taken little more longer for me to get into the court and argue a case. Then he said, this is a judgment of momentous importance in the country. Your profession is not for a day or 2 days. As you walk along the path of your profession, you continuously read Keshavananda Bharati. Every time you read, you will get new idea. Therefore, don't wait to enter the court and argue a matter till you complete Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Then this advice I have taken very seriously, got into profession and started doing my work. Now, coming back to the present generation, they need not have to convince their seniors, like a tough man like Mr. Asaf Ali or Mr. Holla, juniors need not convince them. They will straight away go to Chat GPT. They will ask Chat GPT, tell us what is Keshavananda Bharati versus state of Kerala. Not only you, even I tried. The majority view, minority view, when I asked, please tell me the journey of Keshavananda Bharati till date, it has given to me all the important judgments. In a nutshell, it referred to 4 or 5 judgments. The artificial intelligence is identifying this judgment as one of the a principle standing on Gibraltar Rock. You may be wondering, if I excerpt from Chat GPT, it may also give 2 pages, 3 pages. No. You can ask for refined version, you can ask for a very detailed version of all the judgments starting from Keshavananda Bharati, Indira Gandhi, Minerva Mills, I.R. Coelho, all these things you can ask, it gives in a nutshell. As I am delivering the inaugural speech on this momentous occasion, I am under duty and also obligation to introduce the audience in a very succinct way as to what each one of these judgments stood the day on which the judgment was pronounced, and also how the principle has been traveling along with all of us and continues to be a principle relied on for interpreting the powers of the Parliament and also the scope of judicial review. Now let me introduce you how briefly and precisely Keshavananda Bharati is summed up by artificial intelligence. In the Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala case, the ratio decidendi is the establishment of the basic structure doctrine. The basic structure doctrine holds that there are certain features and fundamental principles of the Constitution that cannot be altered or destroyed through amendments by the Parliament. These features constitute the core identity of the Constitution and ensure the preservation of its democratic, republican and secular nature, as well as the protection of fundamental rights. The specific components of the basic structure doctrine were not exhaustively listed in the judgment, but some of the elements that have been recognized as part of the basic structure over the journey of this precedent is that supremacy of the Constitution, the rule of law, judicial review, separation of powers, federalism, sovereign, democratic and republic nature of India, secular character of the Constitution, protection of the fundamental rights. What I tried for about a month, wrote down about 10-20 pages notes, is now reduced into 2 paragraphs by artificial intelligence. The basic structure doctrine of the Keshavananda Bharati case is that the Parliament's power to amend the Constitution is not unlimited. It cannot alter the basic structure or fundamental features of the Constitution. This principle has had a lasting impact on the constitutional law in India, influencing subsequent judgments and the interpretation of the Constitution. The judgment was delivered on 24/4/1973. Today, we celebrate 50 years of contribution of the said judgment to the legal and constitutional history of India. To find the reason why we are celebrating the 50 years of the judgment, in my view, we must walk the journey of the fundamental rights case to know the importance of today's inaugural session. Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala has been travelling with time by marking its presence in innumerable judgments. By keeping in mind the command of Articles 141 and 142 of the Constitution of India, I find it convenient to refer only to 3 or 4 leading cases to mark its journey. First is Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan and another, reported in 1975 to SCC 159. The 1975 election case, officially known as Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan, is a significant Supreme Court judgment in India. It centered on the election of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and the subsequent legal challenges, highlighting the judiciary's role in safeguarding democracy, the rule of law, and the Constitution. This case has profoundly influenced the interpretation of constitutional amendments, judicial review, and election conduct in India. Then comes Minerva Mills Limited and others versus Union of India, reported in 1980, 3 SCC 625. Minerva Mills Limited versus Union of India assessed the 42nd Amendment Act's constitutionality, establishing key principles in India's jurisprudence. The court introduced the basic structure doctrine, limiting Parliament's power to preserve fundamental constitutional elements. People who would like to appreciate what has been stated in Keshavananda Bharati, Indira Nehru Gandhi, and how it has been by a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court has laid down, I recommend the book written by Andhyarjuna, Writing or Making of Keshavananda Bharati. You will get the full picture of happenings right up to Kohelho's case. It emphasized judicial review of amendments, safeguarding against core structure violations, invalidating provisions validating laws. The court affirmed the judiciary's role. The case also upheld federalism, nullifying clauses, reducing state power, and enhancing central control. Finally, I.R. Kohello versus State of Tamil Nadu, the Supreme Court evaluated the 93rd Constitution Amendment affecting the 9th Schedule's immunity from review. The court upheld the 9th Schedule laws can be reviewed if they breach the Constitution's core. It reasserted limits on amendment power, affirmed judicial review's significance, and emphasized protecting fundamental rights. This verdict reinforced the basic structure doctrine, ensuring judicial authority over laws even within the 9th Schedule. The Kohello case broadened the basic structure doctrine through the effect and impact test, considering an amendment's societal consequences for constitutional validity. The Glenrock Estate Private Limited versus State of Tamil Nadu has clarified on the rights test. It highlighted that an amendment must be directly contravene a fundamental right, not just its essence. While a fundamental right violation might not necessarily breach the basic structure, a law violating the basic structure inherently infringes on fundamental rights. Having broadly referred to 4 judgments, we can understand the importance of Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. As I said, nation recognizes it. Having gone this far on the principles laid down in Keshavananda Bharati, I can wind up my inaugural speech by thanking the Pontiff Mutt for giving me this opportunity. I think then we will not be completely understanding the other basic purpose and essence of our lives also. Dear all, we have inherited great culture, heritage. Name anything that is positive in the world. You have that abundance in this country. We have inherited by merely being the citizens of India. When we cherish, and we would also like to remember the impact of the principle laid down in fundamental rights case. My idea I would like to share with the distinguished guests and audience is that when Justice Mudholkar first contemplated the basic structure, there might have been a few takers for that proposition. As there is basic and inherent strength in it, at relevant time, at relevant hands, the principle has got the recognition from the Supreme Court of India. If you try to find out what is the basic structure of all our scriptures, when I say scriptures, I am not confining myself to one religion or one place. Puranas, Itihasas, there are so many good things. We have inherited so much of basic ideas, basic structure and strength. While commemorating the journey of Keshavananda Bharati case, my advice to the younger generation is, you may also explore the possibility of finding out what you have inherited from a great nation like India. What is it so basic for the future of our country, society and yourself? While commemorating, please do this introspection, set your own basic structures, your own basic essences and develop. I can give any number of examples from various quotes and quotes, but I believe in one's own interest and inclination to learn things. As I have shared this idea, now it is for you to take it forward. Before I conclude my inaugural speech, I thank the organization and particularly the Pontiff for making me deliver this inaugural speech of a momentous year-long celebration of Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. I particularly thank the audience for having patient hearing in very humid climate and also sweating atmosphere. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for the precious inputs. It was a great pleasure to listen to your thoughts with highly inspirational information.